Tombstone. Why, just say the name Tombstone, and you'll conjure up visions of the Old West. Earp and his brothers Morgan, Virgil, and James, Doc Holliday, and the historically famous gunfight at the OK Corral with the Clantons, McLaury brothers, and Billy Cleburne. And if you want to go back in time and immerse yourself in the history and heritage of Tombstone, the town too tough to die, well, partner, you need to make your way to Tombstone Monument Ranch for the vacation and fun family experience of your lifetime. While most of us have heard of the story of the gunfight at the OK Corral, fewer know the origins of the town of Tombstone and its early history before the Earps came to town, which is no less a fascinating story. At Tombstone Monument Ranch, just outside of the town of Tombstone, you'll travel back in time and history and be surrounded by what it may have been like in the late 1800s when the early settlers were primarily ore prospectors and Apache Indians. When you arrive at the ranch, tie up your horse, kick the dust off your boots, and check in at the office. Just whack the bell and someone will come a-running to begin your journey of genuine hospitality. While you're staying at Tombstone Monument Ranch, you might even see Wyatt Earp and his brothers with Doc Holliday riding down the main street of this authentic western town. Or see them in front of the local saloon while you walk down the plank sidewalks in front of the local merchant shops. Why, howdy, ma'am. Even the guest rooms are Western themed, so you might spend a night in the local jail.
Through the sky, he saw the riders coming hard, and he heard the mournful cries, yippee-yi-yi,
or perhaps the stagecoach stop.
They're riding hard to catch that herd, but they ain't caught 'em yet.
Or blacksmith shop. Each room is beautifully themed and appointed, so you feel right at home with modern amenities, but imagining what it may have been like back in the rugged Old West.
Those riders in the sky.
Tombstone's beginnings go back nearly 150 years to the 1870s, when an ore prospector from Pennsylvania named Ed Schiefflin believed he would find silver ore in these parts, mostly inhabited by the Apaches. When his friends learned of his intentions, they said, "Better take your coffin with you. You'll find your tombstone there, and nothing else." But in 1877, Ed did find pieces of silver ore in a dry wash on a high plateau called Goose Flats. When he located the vein, he estimated it to be 50 feet long and 12 inches wide. Ed filed his first claim and fittingly named his stake Tombstone. The town of Tombstone grew from about 100 miners to over 14,000 in less than 7 years, and eventually produced over $80 million in silver bullion, billions in today's money. Ed left his mark on Tombstone and became very wealthy, but his last wish was to be buried where it all started. The story may be best told by Arizona Bill, whom you may meet at Tombstone Monument Ranch. At a morning cookout breakfast at the ranch, Bill shares some of the local lore with his favorite stories.
He joined the cavalry, planned on using the cavalry as protection on the weekends while he searched for silver and gold. Now he told his comrades at Fort Huachuca, so when I muster out of the cavalry, I'm going right out to that desert and I'm going to get rich. His comrades told him the only thing you're going to find in that desert is mad Apache Indians and your tombstone. When in 1879 he struck silver right downtown Tombstone. That silver mine netted over $30 million in the 1800s. On today's market, that'd be equivalent to $1.8 billion. Tombstone was rolling in the dough. So as a joke on his comrades at Fort Huachuca, he decides to name the town Tombstone, and that's how we got our name. Now the reason he's buried out there in that pile of rocks is after Ed mustered out of the cavalry, he was staying down on the San Pedro, one of the old stamp mills. He'd load up his horse and his pack horse, and he'd go out for 2 or 3 days at a time and search for that silver and gold. Now he knew it was here because his father was an archaeologist, so he knew the elements to look for. It was just a matter of finding the location. Well, he was out there at that hill just past the monument. Back before the earthquake in 1887, that was called Watervale. There was water everywhere. It was like a swampland. Well, he was down there watering his horses. He noticed a bunch of tracks around the water hole. Now, he knew someone had been to the water hole. He thought it might be somebody stalking him. And when he made his strike, they'd kill him and jump his claim. So he decided to go up in that pile of rock and hide out and watch the water hole. Well, lo and behold, that afternoon, a whole band of Apaches showed up at the water hole. Now, Ed sat there in that pile of rock all night long and watched those Apaches so that they wouldn't find him. Because if they would have, there wouldn't be no tombstone. The next day after the Apaches moved out, supposedly that's when Ed come out and went into town and struck silver. Now, when he passed away, he asked to be brought back and buried over that pile of rock where he had sat and sweated those Indians all night long. He didn't want anything special done. He just wanted to be buried in that pile of rock. Now, the rumor has it, he's buried standing up. And most likely that's true. When you walk up there to pay your respects to old Ed and you see those big giant rocks, it would be very hard to dig a 6-foot ditch. So most likely they did. Just dig a round hole, stuff him down in it, cover him up with concrete. He didn't care, he wasn't here no more. Now, if you decide to go up and visit old Ed and pay your respects, you walk out the gate down here, turn left, stay on the road about 1/8 of a mile. It's on your right-hand side. I'd like to welcome you all to Tombstone. Welcome you to Tombstone Monument Guest Ranch. Hope you're enjoying yourself. If you don't, I have a complaint department right here. Well, we're going to have some victuals here, folks. I have coffee, orange juice, tea, hot chocolate, milk. Grab you a cup over there and we'll fix you up. Y'all get ready, grab your plate over there, come around, and we'll give you a few victuals.
You'll love the breakfast cookout. Somehow the food always seems to taste better when cooked out over an open fire. And you never know, you might even see the ghosts of the Earps and Doc Holliday sitting over on a log, joining you for breakfast. After a hearty meal, saddle up at the corral, where you'll be matched with a horse well suited to your riding ability. The trail riding is spectacular. You'll ride up to the Tombstone Monument, where Ed's spirit still stands watch over his silver stake. You'll ride around the hills and valleys where Apache Indians used to roam and prospectors hoped to strike it rich. You'll ride up and through an area of old mining and train trestles that were built to haul ore away. Indian petroglyphs can be found on the exposed rocks. You, your horse, friends, and family can ride the trails of the Old West and just imagine what it may have been like nearly 150 years ago. You may want to try your hand at team penning, where you can match wits with the cattle. But we gotta warn you, the cattle are pretty good at this sport. After trail riding, knock that trail dust off. Jump in the swimming pool or hot tub. And gaze on the Dragoon Mountains in the distance, where the Chiricahua Indian chief Cochise held up in this natural fortress for many years. You can watch incredible sunsets, the same ones the prospectors used to see each night as the sun faded beyond the hills. If you've worked up an appetite, head over to the saloon for dinner. Where the chef will prepare exceptional meals and surprise you with special treats cooked up just for the guests. After dinner, you can mosey into their well-stocked saloon for some drinks, friendship, and good times. Why, you might even have Wyatt Earp teach you to play Pharaoh, a card game popular in the days of Tombstone. No need to bring money, just your luck and a good poker face.
When that got glass, someone had to get this condition. Yes, sir. I said, hey, someone can just carry my family introduce you. Yeah. So don't ask me why do you well, I need roast. Why must you live out the songs that you wrote?
A great way to end the day is with a campfire and some cowboy songs.
There's something deep in a cowboy when there's someone that he likes. Biggest toe you'd ever.
Now I ask you, does a day get any better than this?
I got down off my horse, tied her to a hitch.
We thought so.
And that's my.
Between rides, you might want to try your hand at archery. And if you've never shot a bow and arrow, they'll teach you. Or head out with Arizona Bill to the shooting range, where you can shoot targets with authentic Western carbines and pistols, similar to the ones of the Old West.
But being single action, you have to pull the hammer all the way back before it will fire, okay? Once you line it up, then you're gonna cock it all the way and all the way back. None of that stuff like that, okay? The smooth action. When you get it there, you raise it down and squeeze the trigger.
For a fascinating day trip, Charlie One Horse will take you to the Dragoon Mountains and show you sites where the Chiricahua Apaches and Cochise once lived, using the mountains for cover and as a base from which to continue attacks against the ever-encroaching settlements.
Up on top, way up there, it's a shaman, representing a shaman, a mountain person, which he has helpers on the side. Part of those are like the stars in the puma. There's a puma there. At least once to twice a year, we have ceremony that we do here on this side and on the east side of the stronghold to honor the people that have been here before us. There's a lot of things that happen here. This was they call it the stronghold because this is where the Apaches held out from the military, and it was a perfect spot because if you're a military person, you wouldn't want to come up here very far. It would be suicidal. So this was a perfect place for them to be.
Your vacation wouldn't be complete without saddling up the horses and riding to the town of Tombstone, where you can tie the horses up in the corral and spend a few hours in town, checking out the many stores and eating establishments. Big Nose Kate's is always a popular place to stop in. Kate, you will remember, was the girlfriend of Doc Holliday, and this watering hole features great food, drinks, entertainment.
500 away, he'll just be right in your face.
Was that a
And,
close-up
of
shot?
course, non-stop showings of the film Tombstone. You can get a stagecoach tour of the town, or visit the Rose Tree Museum, a fascinating look at early Tombstone, what life was like back then. And see the world's largest rose bush. Yes, folks, that is a rose bush. The bush was planted in 1885, back when Tombstone was a boomtown. The tree officially covers 9,000 square feet, and its gnarled trunk is about 12 feet around. And it wouldn't be Tombstone without a reenactment of the gunfight at the OK Corral. Several times each day, you'll see Wyatt and his brothers and Doc Holliday walk the street to a date with destiny. To see what happens next, well, partner, you'll just have to book a vacation to Tombstone Monument Ranch. Tombstone Monument Ranch, for a vacation experience like no other, where you can step back in time. Be surrounded by natural Arizona beauty and relive the history of the Old West, all at one guest ranch. We'll see you at the corral.